but in the meantime, the mysterious reorganization, consolidation, shared services is a concept brought to us by a citizen, by Mr. Dominion, and he has shown an incredible amount of energy in promoting the idea, while some of them are pretty radical in terms of what we are accustomed to in public education. They may well be just exactly what we need under the climate that we're in right now. So I want to get that group started as quickly as possible. Mr. Dominion certainly will be the active chair of the committee. Several folks from last year expressed an interest, and I don't want to presume to carry their names forward. So I'm going to ask, Andrea Giannopoulos was one of them. If we could get word back to her to get word to us. And then anyone else who's interested, any board members as well. All right, I think that takes care of it for tonight. Finance, policy, community relations. Excuse me. And
Consolidation.
thank you.
Reorganization, consolidation, shared services.
Yeah. We've got the two members of the expulsion committee. I'll check with Tom to see if he wants to continue. School board's alternate, school board's representative and alternate, and the other committees. Please get back to me with a first and second choice, and I will try to get messages to Liz and to Tom to do the same. Okay.
I just have one thing. Yeah, the thing on the master schedule, I think I need some clarification. The master schedule that we're talking about has a tremendous amount of privacy information on it. In order to give that to anyone, you have to redact it. It takes a tremendous amount of time to do that. When we did this in the past, for the years I've been superintendent, we've had board members in the past request a particular document that needed to be produced. The procedure of the board at that time, and we have followed it for the 12 years I've been here doing superintendent, was that the board would have to approve it, because there are 9 board members and 9 individuals can ask for 9 different types of reports and done in different ways. And we can spend our entire day filling out reports for board members. So the procedure has been that the board president would bring it up with the rest of the board, and that board president then would ask the board, is this something that you want? And then it would be given to all the board members. Now, Mr. Hochberg would have taken me up on my offer, and I will make the offer again. The offer is very simple. The easiest way to do this without violating any student confidentiality documents would be to make an appointment with that principal. If it's a particular school, obviously there seems to be an issue at Howell with FPAC, then he can sit down with the principal, and my principal is sitting here now. She can very easily explain it in layman terms to make it very, very simple. Looking at a piece of paper and not understanding the number of special education kids that are in that room that are inclusion, that because they're on a separate coding, and you'll look at the list and you'll say, well, there's only 12 kids in that class, how can that class be running? But there's another 10 kids in there that are special ed that are inclusion, so it makes the class 22. Those are the kinds of things that you'll miss if you just sit there looking at paper. Now, I don't know if Mr. Hochberg has another motivation. I suspect he does, because the last document I didn't give to him, he got it from another person. So I'm not hiding anything. Interesting enough, though, it's May 24th. The master schedule for 2009 and 10 is coming to an end. So shouldn't we be more concerned about the one that's being built now, which I assure you, and if you'd like to hear from Mrs. Derby, I'm sure she can tell you that the classes have been extremely changed at Howell High School, and all of the principals have been under the gun. As recently as I said today, an email went out to them about increasing global studies, increasing the law and public service, increasing other academies. So if the board's pleasure, I have no problem doing it. If that's what you want my administration to do, I did tell Mr. Hochberg, I don't think Mr. Boyce should be doing it. He's in the throes of getting all the documentation to the commissioner to find out we're going to have 4.5 million cuts or 2.6. If you want us to spend all day on that, I have no problem. But the direction comes from the board, not from one individual board member. That's always been the procedure. I find it somewhat micromanaging, honestly, as far as the interpretation of me exercising my First Amendment rights and saying to someone that I will speak to them after I'm a citizen. It was not meant as a threat. I am not threatening anyone. I'm a very peaceful, nice person when you get to know me. But after 2 years of being badgered and attacked, and the person who annoyed me, it's when I was speaking to students right over by that podium, and this individual was rude and arrogant and interrupted students who were talking to me. And that's when I said, I'll speak to you July 1 when I'm a citizen. And that's the same thing I repeated. If you took it as a threat, it wasn't meant to be a threat. It's a fact. I will be a citizen July 1, not a superintendent of schools. And I'll have the rights of everybody else in this room. Yes, let's go.
Just say, as it relates to Sean's time,
Yes.
because I'm probably as big a culprit as anybody. I find him answering my phone calls at 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. at night
I know.
as part of this process with meeting with the mayors and all the other things that we're doing. And I probably unfairly take his time. You know, we probably all need to keep in mind that he might have a life other than us.
Well, he doesn't. I will tell you that. I know that for a fact. He's here weekends. He's been working on the budget. I understand your point, but everything you've been doing related to the crisis at hand, which is the budget. The master schedule, again, for 2009-10, has no relevancy to anything. If you want to know, I will assure you that classes in that schedule were lower. I said that publicly. Nancy had been here, remember Nancy sitting in the audience when people got up and said classes being 30, and I said, or being over 20, I said, get used to it, there won't be classes under 20, there'll be classes 30 and more. It came to reality. I said that, and that was months and maybe a year ago. So I don't get it. If you want to know, Mrs. Durbing, I'm sure Mr. Hochberg can meet with you, set an appointment up, and you can go over it. Let me ask you a question. The concern over FPAC, are any of those classes, I'm going to put you on the spot, and we didn't rehearse this, okay? And I didn't ask Mr. Durbin to come tonight. Are any of the classes in FPAC under 20 at this given point for the schedule for next year?
Yes.
Which ones?
I'll tell you what.
Go ahead. Would you come up to the microphone? This way you can answer it.
This is for September 1?
This is for September. No, I'm talking for September 2010-11.
Absolutely. I'm going
Okay.
to ask the director to come also. FPAC is a specialized learning center. This board committed to a specialized learning center. It is not an elective. It is, again, it's a specialized program. Being that it is a specialized program, there are certain parameters within the program. For example, our dance class is at 18. Our acting class for next year is at 24. Our ET program for next year is at 24. It's at 24. Oh, they added more, so it's 28. But what happens, Mr. Hochberg, and I welcome you anytime you want. You can come to Howe High School. Mr. Cantata, Mrs. Burkhart, Mrs. Herrick will be happy to have you into their class to see how the video production and the music production program works. Is that as the children go on in the program, they separate, they learn about the different programs, and they make a decision to major in video production or music production. We would love to have more than one music studio. Right now, we only have one.